One Saturday morning, Nand arrived at the cafe looking unusually excited. As soon as Neelkant sat down, he smiled and asked, "You look happier than usual. What's the good news?" Nand grinned. "I finally decided to buy a car. I've shortlisted a few models. I think it's time. Traveling by bike during the monsoon has become difficult, and having a car will make family trips much more comfortable." Neelkant nodded. A car can certainly improve convenience and safety. But before you visit the showroom, answer one question. Nand looked curious. What question? Why are you buying the car? Nand laughed. Isn't the answer obvious? To drive it. Neelkant smiled. No. Think deeper. Are you buying it because you genuinely need it? Because it fits your financial plan? Or because everyone around you seems to be buying bigger and more expensive cars? Nand leaned forward. What do you mean? Many people begin by looking for a 10 lakh rupee car. After entering the showroom, they see a 13 lakh rupee model with a few extra features. Then they compare it with a 16 lakh rupee variant. Soon they're considering a 20 lakh rupee SUV. Nand laughed. That sounds exactly like what happened when I started browsing online. The salesperson isn't forcing anyone, Neelkant continued. Our own minds keep moving the benchmark. Every upgrade feels just a little more, but the loan, interest, insurance, registration, maintenance, fuel, and depreciation all increase together. Nand nodded slowly. So the decision shouldn't be based only on the EMI. Exactly, Neelkant said. A low monthly EMI can hide a very expensive purchase. Nand said, I never thought beyond the showroom price. Neelkant smiled. That's why many people become car rich but financially poor. A car should improve your life, not become a financial burden. Nand said, I've made my decision. Oh? Which car are you buying? The one that comfortably fits my budget, meets my family's needs, and allows me to continue investing for my future. Nand further said, I don't want to end up paying more than necessary. There are so many decisions. Choosing the right variant, negotiating the price, arranging the loan, insurance, registration, maintenance, fuel. I don't know where to begin.
Neelkant smiled knowingly. That's a common problem. Buying the right car is one decision. Buying it at the lowest possible overall cost is another. He took out his phone. I know someone who specializes in exactly this. His name is Aviraj. Aviraj is an expert at helping people make large financial purchases in a structured and cost-effective way. His philosophy is simple. Every rupee unnecessarily spent on a major purchase is a rupee that can no longer compound for your future. Neelkant searched his contacts and shared Aviraj's phone number with Nand. I've sent you his contact. What makes him different? Nand asked. Neelkant replied, most people negotiate only the car's sticker price. Aviraj looks at the entire transaction. He compares dealer offers, evaluates financing options, checks insurance pricing, questions unnecessary accessories, reviews exchange offers, and calculates the total cost of ownership. His goal is to help you make a well-informed decision while avoiding unnecessary expenses. Nand smiled. So he doesn't just help people buy a car, he helps them buy it wisely. Nand immediately saved Aviraj's number and said, I'll call him before I visit any showroom. The next morning, after finishing breakfast, he dialed his number. The phone rang twice. Hello, this is Aviraj. Good morning, Aviraj. My name is Nand. Neelkant gave me your contact number. There was a brief pause before Aviraj replied warmly. Ah, Neelkant, it's nice to meet you, Nand. Nand smiled. He told me you're the person to speak with before making a major purchase. Aviraj chuckled. I try to help people avoid expensive mistakes. Tell me, what are you planning to buy? My first car.
Congratulations, Aviraj said. Buying your first car is exciting. Unfortunately, excitement is exactly what dealerships are designed to amplify. Nand laughed. I've already experienced that while browsing online. I'm not surprised, Aviraj replied. Before we discuss brands or models, let me ask you a few questions. I'm ready, Nand said. Excellent. First, tell me your total budget. Not the EMI you're comfortable paying, but the maximum amount you're willing to spend, including registration, insurance, accessories, taxes, and every other cost. Nand paused. I actually haven't calculated that. That's perfectly normal, Aviraj said calmly. Most buyers know their EMI. Very few know their actual budget. He continued, My job isn't to sell you a car. My job is to help you make sure that after buying the car, you still have enough money to continue building your wealth. Good, Aviraj replied. Then let's do this systematically. Before you visit a single showroom, we'll prepare a purchase plan. Once that is ready, the showroom loses its ability to influence your decisions. Nand smiled. I already feel more confident. Aviraj laughed. That's because good financial decisions begin long before any money is spent. They agreed to meet that evening and review every aspect of the purchase, from selecting the right variant to negotiating the price, comparing loan options, evaluating insurance, avoiding unnecessary accessories, and calculating the true cost of ownership. As Nand ended the call, he realized something. Buying a car wasn't simply about choosing the right model. It was about making hundreds of small financial decisions correctly. As the sun slowly dipped below the horizon, the familiar cafe was filled with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Nand arrived a few minutes early. A few moments later, a young man dressed casually in a dark jacket, jeans, and sneakers walked toward him with a friendly smile. You must be Nand. Yes, Nand replied, standing up to shake his hand. And you must be Aviraj. They ordered coffee and settled into a quiet corner of the cafe. Aviraj smiled. Neelkant told me you're planning to buy your first car. Nand nodded enthusiastically. Yes, until yesterday, I thought buying a car simply meant choosing the model I liked and arranging a loan. Aviraj laughed. That's exactly how most people think. He placed a notebook on the table. But buying a car is actually one of the biggest financial decisions many families make after purchasing a house. Nand leaned forward. So, where do we begin? Aviraj drew a small circle on a sheet of paper and wrote car in the center. Around it, he began writing more words. Budget. Variant. Negotiation. Loan. Insurance. Registration. Accessories. Exchange value. Resale value. Maintenance. Fuel costs. Warranty. Nand looked surprised. I only thought about the first one. Aviraj smiled. Exactly. He continued. Most buyers negotiate only one number, the ex-showroom price. But that is only one piece of the puzzle. A smart buyer negotiates and optimizes the entire transaction. You might save $30,000 on the price, but overpay $80,000 through an expensive loan, overpriced insurance, unnecessary accessories, or poor financial decisions. Aviraj took a sip of his coffee. My objective isn't to help you buy the cheapest car. He paused before continuing. My objective is to help you buy the right car at the lowest possible overall cost. Aviraj closed the notebook. Aviraj said, Never enter a showroom before you have a plan. Otherwise, the showroom will create one for you. As they are reviewing Nand's car purchase plan, a breaking news alert appeared on the television mounted on the wall. Government announces GST reduction on several car categories. Nand's eyes lit up. That's fantastic news, he exclaimed. This means I should book my car immediately before the prices go up again. Aviraj smiled, but didn't react with the same excitement. Maybe, he said calmly. Nand looked puzzled. What do you mean, maybe? Isn't a lower GST always a good deal? Aviraj took a sip of his coffee. A lower GST is certainly good news for buyers, but whether it becomes a financial decision depends on how you respond to the news. Nand leaned forward. I don't understand. Aviraj picked up a pen and drew 2 circles on his notebook. In the first circle, he said, people think, the car is cheaper now. I can afford a more expensive model. In the second circle, smart buyers think, the car is cheaper now. I'll buy the same model I originally planned and save the difference.
Nand looked at the notebook thoughtfully. So the tax saving can either increase my spending or increase my savings. Exactly, Aviraj replied. The market loves creating a feeling of urgency. Dealers will tell you, prices have fallen. This is the perfect time to upgrade. Aviraj smiled. The GST reduction changes the price. It doesn't change your financial plan. He continued, if your original budget was 12 lakh rupees, don't suddenly start shopping for a 15 lakh rupee car just because taxes came down. Nand's expression changed. So the real benefit of the GST reduction isn't buying a bigger car. It's increasing your future wealth. Aviraj raised his coffee cup. Every rupee you don't waste today becomes a worker that builds your wealth tomorrow. That evening, the GST reduction no longer looked like an opportunity to spend more. It looked like an opportunity to invest more.
The next morning, after carefully reviewing his finances, Nand picked up his phone and called Aviraj. Good morning, Aviraj. Nand smiled. I've done my homework. I've finalized my budget. My maximum budget is 10 lakh rupees, all inclusive. That means the ex-showroom price, registration, insurance, accessories, taxes, everything. Nand continued. I've also shortlisted 3 cars. Oh, which ones? Hyundai Exter, Maruti Franx, and Hyundai i20. And I need an automatic car, since it reduces driver fatigue, especially during daily traffic, and makes driving much more comfortable. Aviraj said, we're not trying to find the best car in India. We're trying to find the best car for your needs, your budget, and your long-term financial goals. As the call ended, Nand realized that for the first time, he wasn't asking, which car is the best? He was asking, which car is the smartest choice for my family's needs and my 10 lakh rupee budget?
The next morning, Nand arrived at the cafe carrying a notebook filled with the notes he had prepared after speaking with Aviraj. Aviraj was already there, enjoying his morning coffee. Aviraj opened his notebook. So, which cars have made your shortlist? Hyundai Exter Automatic and Hyundai i20 Automatic. Good choices, Aviraj replied. But remember, today we are not going to the showroom to buy a car. Nand looked surprised. Then why are we going? We are going to collect information. Aviraj drew a checklist on a blank page. Hyundai Showroom Checklist. Test drive the Exter Automatic. Test drive the i20 Automatic. Compare seating comfort for your family. Evaluate visibility and driving position. Experience the automatic transmission in city traffic. Measure boot space. Ask for the complete on-road quotation. Compare insurance options. Understand waiting periods. Check manufacturer and dealer discounts. Verify exchange offers. Ask about service packages and warranty.
Nand looked impressed. I thought we were just going for a test drive. Aviraj smiled. A test drive tells you how the car feels. A purchase plan tells you how the car affects your finances. He continued, today's goal is not to choose between the Exter and the i20. It's to gather facts. Nand nodded. So we won't pay any booking amount today? No. We won't negotiate today? Not yet. we won't make an emotional decision? Definitely not. Aviraj finished his coffee and stood up. I have one rule whenever I visit a showroom. What is it? Nand asked. Walk in with a notebook, walk out with quotations. Never walk out with a booking unless you've compared every option. Nand smiled.
As they reached the Hyundai showroom, bright banners greeted them. Special discount! Limited time exchange bonus! Book today! Nand instinctively looked at Aviraj. Aviraj smiled calmly. The showroom's job is to sell a car. Our job is to make the smartest financial decision. For the first time, he wasn't entering as an excited customer. He was entering as an informed buyer with a clear budget, a clear objective, and a clear plan. The decision would come only after every number had been carefully analyzed. After spending nearly 2 hours at the Hyundai showroom, Nand and Aviraj stepped outside, carrying brochures, quotations, and pages of handwritten notes. Instead of excitement, Nand looked thoughtful. They walked toward a nearby coffee shop and sat down. Nand opened his notebook. I've written down everything. Ex-showroom prices, on-road quotations, insurance options, waiting periods, available discounts, exchange offers, accessories offered by the dealer, warranty packages, service packages, finance offers.
Aviraj smiled. Very good. But we're still missing one important step. Nand looked surprised. What could be left? We haven't compared any of these numbers. Nand smiled. So what happens next? Aviraj opened his laptop. Now the real work begins. He placed both quotations side by side. We'll compare every number. Then we'll visit the Maruti showroom and test drive the Franx Automatic. We'll collect the same information. Only after comparing all 3 cars will we decide which one gives you the best overall value. He pointed to the quotations. These papers contain thousands of rupees that can either stay in your pocket or leave it. Nand smiled. For the first time, I understand why you never rush. As they left the cafe, Aviraj smiled. Tomorrow, we visit the Maruti showroom. Nand grinned. And this time, I'll walk in with even more questions than before. Aviraj laughed. That's how smart buyers save money. One informed question at a time.
The next afternoon, after spending nearly 2 hours at the Maruti showroom, Nand and Aviraj walked out carrying a fresh set of brochures, quotations, and handwritten notes. They stopped at a nearby cafe and ordered coffee. Nand spread 3 folders across the table. One for the Hyundai Exter, one for the Hyundai i20, one for the Maruti Franx. Looking at the stack of papers, he smiled. Yesterday, I thought I was shopping for a car. Today, it feels like I'm preparing a business proposal. Aviraj laughed. That's because a 10 lakh rupee purchase deserves that level of attention. Nand nodded. I noticed something interesting. What? The quotations aren't easy to compare. The insurance prices are different. The accessories included are different. Even the finance offers vary. Exactly, Aviraj replied. That's why comparing only the ex-showroom price can be misleading. He continued. One dealer may offer a bigger discount on the car, but recover the money through expensive insurance. Another may include accessories you don't actually need. A third may advertise a lower EMI while charging a higher interest rate. Nand smiled.
So the cheapest quotation isn't always the cheapest purchase. Correct. Aviraj took out a blank sheet of paper. Tomorrow, we won't visit any showroom. We'll compare every quotation line by line. Nand looked impressed. I never imagined buying a car involved this much analysis. Aviraj smiled. Most people don't. They spend months choosing a smartphone worth 30,000 rupees. But they spend only a few hours deciding how to spend 10 lakh rupees. Both laughed. As they packed their papers, Aviraj gave Nand one final piece of advice. Don't fall in love with any car until the numbers make sense. The right car isn't the one that gives me the biggest smile during the test drive. It's the one that continues giving me peace of mind every month after I buy it. Tomorrow wouldn't be about driving another car. It would be about comparing facts, eliminating unnecessary costs, and discovering which car truly delivered the best overall value within his 10 lakh rupee all-inclusive budget. For the first time, Nand realized that the smartest car buyers don't choose the best salesperson. They choose the best financial decision.
The next morning, Nand and Aviraj met once again at their usual table in the cafe. Their notebooks, brochures, and quotations from the Hyundai and Maruti showrooms were neatly arranged on the table. As the waiter served 2 cups of coffee, Aviraj opened his laptop. Before we start comparing the features, prices, maintenance costs, and ownership expenses of these 3 cars, he said, there's one very important question we need to answer. Nand looked up. What is it? Aviraj smiled. How are you planning to pay for the car? Nand took a sip of his coffee. My father has offered to help me. Oh? He's willing to provide the entire amount in cash, so I don't have to take a loan. Nand continued. There's another option. My employer offers employees a vehicle loan of 10 lakh rupees. Aviraj nodded. At what interest rate? 7% per annum, calculated on simple interest. Aviraj's expression became thoughtful. He began writing 3 headings. Pay entirely from your father's funds. Take the employer's loan at 7% simple interest. Consider a combination of both, if appropriate. Aviraj looked at Nand. Today, we won't decide which car to buy. We'll first decide the smartest way to pay for it. Aviraj raised his coffee cup. For most people, it is. But financially successful people know that how you finance a purchase can be just as important as what you purchase. If your father pays the entire 10 lakh rupees, there is no EMI. There is no interest. There is no bank paperwork. So financially, the financing cost is 0.
Aviraj smiled. Only if we ignore one important question. What question? Does your father have a better use for that money? Nand thought for a moment. He could keep it invested for his retirement. Exactly. Money has an opportunity cost, even when there is no interest to pay. He could invest the money in the traditional FD, where he can earn interest of up to 7.5% PA, which will be compounded annually. Aviraj moved to the second column. Option 2. Employer loan. Now let's examine your employer's loan. He wrote, loan amount rupees 10 lakh. Interest rate 7% per annum. Simple interest. Nand smiled. 7% sounds reasonable. It does, Aviraj replied. If the loan runs for 8 years, interest equals rupees 10 lakh into 7% into 8 equals rupees 5,60,000. So over 5 years, Aviraj said, you would repay rupees 15,60,000 in total. Nand looked surprised. I never looked at the total interest. I was only thinking about the monthly EMI. Aviraj smiled. That's exactly why we calculate before we borrow. Aviraj moved to the third column. Now imagine your father contributes 5 lakh. You borrow only 5 lakh. Nand immediately picked up the calculator. So the interest would also be cut roughly in half. Exactly. If everything else remains the same, your interest cost falls significantly because you're borrowing less. Nand smiled. So I still take responsibility for buying the car, but I don't pay interest on the full amount. Correct. Nand closed his notebook. For the first time, I understand that financing isn't just about getting a loan. It's about choosing the option that leaves me in the strongest financial position, even after I own the car. That evening, after returning home, Nand spread all the brochures, quotations, and notes across his study table.
He opened his notebook and began reviewing everything he had learned over the past few days. The Hyundai Extra Automatic, Hyundai i20 Automatic, and Maruti Franx Automatic were still on his shortlist, but after carefully comparing the features against his family's requirements, one thing became clear. Because he frequently drove on uneven roads and wanted confidence during the monsoon season, good ground clearance had become one of his highest priorities. That made the Hyundai Extra stand out. The Maruti Franx was still an attractive option, but Nand couldn't ignore another issue. Despite several follow-ups, the response from the Maruti dealership had been slow and unenthusiastic. Calls weren't returned promptly, information was incomplete, and he felt as though he had to chase the salesperson for every update.
Nand leaned back in his chair. A good buying experience matters too, he thought. He was beginning to feel that the Hyundai dealership was taking his inquiry more seriously. Just then, his phone rang. The caller ID displayed Hyundai sales consultant. "Good evening, Mr. Nand," the salesperson said warmly. "I discussed your requirements with my senior today." Nand listened carefully. "You had mentioned that good ground clearance is one of your top priorities. Considering your budget and your family's needs, we believe the Hyundai Extra Automatic is the most suitable choice for you." Nand smiled. "That matches the conclusion I was reaching myself." The salesperson continued. "We've also reviewed your quotation once again. I spoke with my sales manager, and we've worked out our best possible final offer for you. I've just sent the revised quotation to your WhatsApp." A notification appeared on Nand's phone. He opened the document. His eyes widened. The final price was noticeably better than the quotation he had received during his showroom visit. Nand looked at the numbers once again to make sure he wasn't imagining them. "They've improved the offer far more than I expected," he said to himself. Instead of making an immediate decision, he smiled. Over the past few days, Aviraj had taught him an important lesson. A lower quotation was exciting, but it still needed to be analyzed. Nand picked up his phone and sent a message to Aviraj. "Hyundai has just sent me a revised final quotation. The numbers look surprisingly good. Let's review it together before I make any decision." Within a few moments, Aviraj replied, "Perfect. Never accept or reject a quotation based on excitement. Tomorrow, we'll go through every line item and see whether it's genuinely the best deal or simply the best-looking offer." Nand smiled. For the first time, he wasn't rushing to book the car. He was waiting to understand every number before making one of the biggest financial decisions of his life.
The next morning, Nand and Aviraj met once again at their usual cafe. The revised Hyundai quotation lay open on the table beside the earlier quotations they had collected from the Hyundai and Maruti showrooms. Aviraj opened his laptop. "Let's go through every item one last time." After checking every number against competing quotations and prevailing market prices, Aviraj closed his laptop with a smile. "I think we've reached a conclusion." Nand looked up eagerly. "What do you think?" "This is an excellent quotation." He paused for a moment. "In fact, considering the discounts, the dealer support, and the overall buying experience, I believe this is one of the best offers you could reasonably expect on the Hyundai Extra Automatic." Aviraj added, "Getting a great quotation is only half the job. The second half is making sure you pay for the car in the smartest possible way.